Guess what? It's me again. So this is the last video for this first week of e-learning that I'm going to record. It's pretty much the last part of the factoring with a number in front of the x squared before we start on our special cases that second week of e-learning. So today we're going to look at some that have a greatest common factor. So the numbers could be like super huge and you're going to have to simplify them a little bit before you start the slide, divide, multiply. So we're going to throw in a new step 3 here. So we're still going to check to make sure that it's in standard form, and then we're going to check to look at it to see if it's going to have same signs or different signs. And then we're going to look for a GCF, so a greatest common factor. Now remember, a greatest common factor has to be the greatest number that all three of the numbers are divisible by. Okay, so we're going to take that out. We're going to divide that out to make it a little bit more simple. The number's a little bit more smaller before we start the actual slide, divide, bottoms up part. Okay, so that's what we're going to do today. So let me erase this. And let's start off with a pretty obvious one. Nothing too crazy. So right now, that looks completely insane. Who wants to multiply 20 times 60 and find a number that multiplies the 1200 but adds the 70? Not this lady, because she doesn't have time for that. So I'm first going to check to make sure it's in standard form. So x squared x number. I'm also going to check for same signs and different. So this one is same sign and they're both positive. And then look for a GCF to see if you can make them smaller. This doesn't happen with all the problems. It happens with some of them, but just check to see. So 20, 70, and 60. The greatest common factor that the greatest number that all three of them are divisible by is 10. So I'm going to put a 10 here, and I'm going to divide that 10 out. Because remember, factoring is the opposite of multiplying, so it's dividing. So 20 divided by 10 is 2. 70 divided by 10 is 7. 60 divided by 10 is 6. And now I'm going to factor just that part. Now I'm going to do the slide, divide, bottoms up just on that part that I underlined, okay? And then I'll tell you what to do with that 10 at the end. All right, so same sign, both positive. So 2 times 6 is 12. So I'm multiplying to 12, but I'm adding to 7. So 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. Bingo, it's 3 and 4. So x plus 3 and x plus 4. So there's my slide. Now let's divide by a. So my a is this number. I'm completely ignoring that 10. So divide by 2. So 3 divided by 2, not a whole number. It can't be reduced. So I'm going to bottoms up that 2. So that's 2x plus 3. 4 divided by 2, though, that's 2. So that's x plus 2. Now, what's going to happen with that 10 is we're just going to throw it out front. Okay, because it's still part of the whole factorization of this original problem. It's just this multiplied together is this, and then this times 10 goes back to that original problem. So that's what's going to happen there. So this would be the last part of the new stuff with the slide, divide, bottoms up. All right, let's try another one. I'm always losing my eraser here. It does right there. Okay. So let's do 18x squared minus 33x plus 12. All right, so same starting off here. Is it in standard form? X squared x number. Yep. Is it same signs or different? So let's look at that C term. What do you all think? Same sign, but they're both going to be negative. All right. So looking before you start, 18 times 12, that's a big number. I don't have time to do all that. So let's go ahead and take 18, 33, and 12 and look for a GCF. So I want you to sit there and think just for a second, what number would all three of those be divisible by? 3. So let's take out a 3. So 18 divided by 3 is 6. Negative 33 divided by 3 is negative 11. 12 divided by 3 is 4. And now I'm going to factor just what I have left in that parenthesis. Okay, so we just said that it's same sign, both negative. So let's go ahead and start off with our slide. So 6 times 4 is 24. So we're going to multiply to 24, but add to negative 11, and they're both negative. So negative 1 and negative 24. Negative 2 and negative 12. Negative 3 and negative 8. Negative 4 and negative 6. So start adding those together. We're going to find the one that adds to negative 11, negative 3, and negative 8. So x minus 3 and x minus 8. Okay, so that's the slide. Now let's divide by that a term, that's 6. Okay, right there, that a term. So 3 divided by 6, not a whole number, but 3/6 reduces to 1/2. So I'm going to make that a 1/2. 1 over 2 can't reduce anymore, so I'm going to bottoms up that 2. So that's 2x minus 1. 8 divided by 6 is also not a whole number, but it reduces to 4/3. So I'm going to make that a 4/3. So I'm going to bottoms up that 3. So that's 3x minus 4. And then since you took out that GCF of 3 at the beginning, we're going to throw that back out front. And we are done. Okay? I'm going to let you all try one like that, and then we're done with this video, and we're going to do a little bit more practice. All right. I always lose the eraser. There it is. Okay. All right. So let's go with... All right, so this one's pretty similar to those other two we just did, so go ahead and pause your video here, work it out, and then start it again so we can check it. All right, so it is in standard form, different signs though. 8 times 6 is 48, so that's a manageable number, but we want to always completely factor something, so we do need to always look for a GCF even if the numbers are small. Not all of them have one, but sometimes they do. 8, 8, and 6, they're all even, so the GCF is 2. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. 8 divided by 2 is 4. Negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. And I'm going to factor just the part that's in that parentheses. So let's go ahead and slide. 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. So I'm going to multiply to negative 12, but add to 4. So they're different signs, okay? Bigger one's positive because B's positive. So 1, negative 1 and 12. Or negative 2 and 6, or negative 3 and 4. The one that adds to 4 is negative 2 and 6. So x minus 2 and x plus 6. So slide, divide by a, so a is 4. So 2 divided by 4, that's not a whole number again. 2 divided by 4 reduces to 1/2, so I'm going to make that a 1/2. Bottoms up that 2, so that's 2x minus 1. 6 divided by 4 is also not a whole number. 6 divided by 4 reduces by 2, so that's a 3/2. Bottoms up that 2, so that's 2x plus 3. And then don't forget you took out that GCF of 2 at the beginning, so we're just going to throw that back out front. And that is my final answer. So once again, let me know if you have any questions. Do your best on your homework, and I'll see you all next time.